No, cruising.
That's one way to make an entrance in PV. Good afternoon, mate. Or good evening for you. That's for you, MPV. I hate you. What's up, my boy? Yeah, the engine is over there under a blanket. You know, classic. Trippy color. What is that? That Pepe emote called Trippy color. Oh, it's by Trippy color. Okay, makes sense now. Stare. I'm staring at you, MPV. I was the one staring at you. Put music. Let's go. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. We're back. I'm gonna put the chat again. Bam. Can we get a people leave finger, please? Yeah, I need to look at this. That's with better TTV, I think, right? I need to look into that. Like, I don't have anything set up for the stream. That could be cool. Putting some random shit in there. That would be pretty sick. Cause you know I don't have enough sub to put a lot of emotes, so I cannot put anything I want. We are 9 sub point away from getting a new emote. So we were 3 points away. Now we are at 9. So yeah, people need to use their prime. So time to prime. Wow, that's like I can click on it, so I'm gonna have that in my history. Oh, that one is sick. Middle finger and just get a fuck out. I love it. All right, I'm gonna have to look into that because that could be cool with that better TTV to get like emotes and stuff. That will be super cool. So we're back at it. We're trying to make something that won't kill us this afternoon, won't kill us down the road. We are pretty much there. I've been looking at it a little bit this during lunch break, and basically I think we are on the right track. So looking at it again, I was able to even push that even further back there. This is like super solid, and we can use that with the spring. So sitting the spring in place, we can mount that there, and now we are pretty much, once pressed in place, flush to the firewall. So with that said, that means the link from Fiat that is laying on the ground right there should be fitting pretty well in there. That shouldn't be a big deal anymore. So and I just, okay, it's right there. Something followed and it's supposed to stay there. So yeah, so basically with that said, that means we're gonna be able to make a fitting at the end here. I thought about this one and I'm pretty sure I have an idea on how I'm gonna do it. So basically we just need to preserve the cylinder at the bottom there so the spring can be pressed against that, but on the top we're probably going to notch it and make sure we can put part of the link we need to put in there. Well, yes, we're gonna weld it. There's gonna be a lot of welding involved. However, we need to think like we need to use the 5 heads and think one step further than just welding. Basically, the idea is, and I have two parts here that can make me do a great example out of it. Basically, if I was to weld it like that will work, right? But if for any reason the weld was about to snap, that's not ideal, right? Like if this is supposed to be weld and spin together to turn the wheel, if that snaps and starts turning like this freely, that's bad, right? However, if we're making sure that everything we're welding are a bit like into each other, notch into one another, that's the word I was looking for. If I'm welding around here and it's snapping, at least even if I don't have a mechanical thing, mate them. That's a good way to say that. I'm gonna be mating them, making sure like they are going to have a mechanical force before even welding it. So technically, if everything is tight together and I'm trying to turn it without even welding it, which we're not necessarily going to do, at least I know there's more than just a weld holding that. It's not edge to edge, which will mean there is a full gap in the center there. We're gonna try to mate absolutely everything, just like in here, once we have cut that this morning, and some super glue, yeah, fair. But basically that, since we're going to go like this, even if it was to snap, at least, yes, it will turn freely. That's like, nothing will change on that. However, that will help preventing any bad movement from happening. Like, it couldn't just snap like that. The timing on that one, I did that. It's still going, what the hell? I did that and it did boom. That was cool. So, this is the big idea. On that one, honestly, I'm thinking about trying to drill a hole through that and just put a pin on the outer side and maybe weld it so that even if it was to snap there, some creeper noise. Oh, this was the sound. Yeah, it was a Minecraft sound. Makes sense. So yeah, the idea here might be to put 1 or 2 pins through that just so we can secure the entire thing. But we're gonna wait because it's probably going to have a purpose later on with the top there. Also, I wanted to check, and that I haven't think about it during lunchtime. We had a coupler we removed from the steering that is here. This is probably not fitting now. However, that's not a bad idea either. We might be reinforcing that too by slipping that on top. Like doing that, welding it, then pushing that against the weld and welding that again. So we're gonna have like 2 sequence of welds in there that will allow us to just bulletproof it. Honestly, that's the only thing that matters at this point. We need it to be bulletproof. So that's gonna be cool. That's what we have to keep in mind. We need to put to make sure that everything is bulletproof. So with that said, first step today is gonna be to get the exact length that we need. So for that, we're gonna take a look again inside the car, I guess. We're gonna be pushing that through here like this. take a measurement where this is, how far this is coming out of here. Well, in fact, I don't really need that. Just doing that here is basically what we need. This is coming out exactly 1 inch out of there. And with that done, we can now just push that inside the car and push the second rod, that one, to the power steering unit, measure 1 inch out here and just mark it. And we're gonna see how long we have to make the exact length of the rod. So yeah, let's start with that. So let's go. Dual side. Dual side. There you go. Now let's try to put that in there and make it work. Easy. Well, let's take a screw. I don't think this is the appropriate screw, but hey, screw that. Oh! All right, I need that rubber to stay in place, so. That. There we go. So I also tried to slide it a little bit to the left side from the inside of the car point of view, I say, but just because I think it was not lining up exactly to the right spot, so we're gonna try that. And try to make sure it is going to the right spot. Right there. Just need to put one more screw in place. And that's also something we're gonna be able to readjust later on. All right, that one's not screwing. Why that? What's going on, mate? That seems pretty good. Right, the top one is not going in place properly compared to before, but I think I'm just not in the right position to make it work. At least it's more so in place. That should do the job. So yeah, as you can see now, we are really pushing the rod way further back there. So I'm gonna take that, take the marker, if I can find it again, and take the measuring tape. I'm gonna put grease in my face for sure before the end of the afternoon. And I'm gonna go inside the car. Well, not inside, but inside the engine bay. Look at BB, it's a chance there's no engine in here, because I need the place to work. Would you imagine trying to do that mod, but with having the engine in place? That will suck so bad. There we go. So this is where the rod is going. And now, shit. Come on, don't be shy. There we go. Gonna open up that. Make sure that I'm measuring 1 inch from there. So that's gonna give the overall length without being compressed. Oh shit. Not working great right now. There you go. I'm pressed against the power steering unit. Therefore, there's my 1 inch on the side of it. Yep. And now we're gonna have the real measurement. So in the title I'm seeing 10 inches. At some point this morning we were at 13. Now we should be somewhere in between. Dual front. There you go. How long is that? 10 and 5/8 precisely. So 10 and 5/8 should be good. Hey, what's up, blood? So this is exactly the length that we should need for the entire unit there. That being said, we know that we are going down 5 inches on that one. So if I'm taking the measurement just to make sure, 5 and 1/8. So here 5 and 1/8 put me there. So basically with just deduction, I'm gonna try to get to the real length of, like, making sure how much material I need to keep on each side. So from there, that means I can remove around 3 inches to 3 inches and 1/8 on the end here, bringing the cutting place to 3 inch and 1/8. That. All right, so following the logic, right now, if I was to cut this piece right here, I need to go outside of that webcam there, right? Front cam. There you go. So basically, if I was to cut that part here, I need to preserve that side, like I already said. If I was to cut it here, that will mean this piece right here will sliding up to there. And that being said, measuring all that should bring me exactly to where I need it to sit. And we can already confirm that with that mark lining up with that bottom edge there. So basically with all that like together, that means we will have two pieces like going inside each other and basically becoming just one piece that's gonna fit the exact length that we need up there. With that said, how do I make sure that spring's gonna get compressed enough to what we need? So basically that is with the 10 and 5/8 is with an uncompressed spring. So we're gonna have to basically remove 1/2 inch from that if we wanna compress it by 1/2 inch. So the idea here is that the part inside the car, so if you're looking again, dual side. So the part, the hole sitting right there, this is where the spring is applying forces against it. So if I'm compressing it, I'm shortening the length of the entire assembly, right? With that said, it also means I'm gonna have 2 adjustments left after that. So if we're coming back here, I'm just looking for the part at the moment. Front cam. Look at me looking for the part I'm talking about. Where did I put that? Probably on the bench. But basically, that means where the bearing, the upper bearing is gonna sit. It's not over there. It's not over here. Oh, it's right in my face. It's right there. This part here, we made it so we have a plate to slide it in and out a little bit more or less inside there. Basically, this is what is gonna help us get that half-inch compression onto the springs, and then everything's gonna sit to its final spot. So, again, with that said, we need to make sure everything's gonna line up perfectly, and we're gonna make sure we have the plate to slide it in and out from probably a 1/4 inch, just because at some point it's not going to fit perfectly. Like, we're trying to make it as perfect as possible, but yeah, basically we need to keep in mind it's gonna get shortened a little bit more. Then we're not using precision tool, so we might have like something that is not going to fit perfectly in place. That's a lot of information right there. But yeah, so again, going with that information right here, that means I can already cut that one right there to the length we need. And so doing that, like I said, I can cut it right now, test it, and that's gonna be uncompressed. Then I'm gonna have to remove maybe 1/2 inch from that side here, which is gonna allow us to compress it against the part on the firewall. Then it's gonna work properly to match with the power steering unit. There's no friendly in here, but NPV, I guess that's your way to say hello, Bloodstone. Yesterday, I friended myself in the honor of Bloodstone, and you asked me a question right away, and I was like, well, you know what? I cannot answer, so that's it. So you were alone in all of your in all of that silence there. All right, let me cut that. Fair, fair. Basically, you love talking alone, but saying it's for Bloodstone. I'm gonna bring the cam, because right now all the action's gonna happen around here. Oh my god, tomorrow, like usual, I won't be streaming. Hey, I'm streaming at Thursday afternoon. How about that? However, I wasn't streaming on Monday, so that may explain it. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna take a look for my extra life setup for the 25 hours we're gonna do here. Basically, I'm gonna be hosting a 25-hour stream with 8 to 10 people at my place, and most of them, if not all of them, are gonna be streaming. So rip the internet, but technically we are really good with internet when the bandwidth, so yeah, we're gonna see that there. But last year we did that with 5 people. This year I'm aiming to up to 10 people in my place streaming all together for a fundraising that will be just perfect, and I need to take a look into that tomorrow. Time to cut. Loud noise. All right, so this is done. If we're putting that inside the other part right there, if I haven't messed that up, it should be 10 and 5/8 long. Well, not 5/8. Maybe I messed that up. Oh yeah, but I cut on the wrong side of the line there, so that's why. So basically we are at 10 and 3/8. Hey, hey. So makes sense. Well, but that's okay, because basically right now, if I was at 5/8, half an inch will be, that's a quarter. I would just need to cut a little bit more and we will be right where I want it to sit. So basically with that done, that means if we're, well, yeah, I don't have the part in my hand, it's in the car, but basically here, if I'm putting that through there, oh, I cannot go further than that. I'm gonna have to chop a little bit of that big part here, just because I need that to slip even further than where it's going right now. So basically the idea is that, and when we're gonna push through on this, it's gonna open up here, so we get more visibility on that, and we can come and put our C-clamp in here on the last notch there, and that's gonna lock everything. So as you can see right now, I just don't have enough space to slip that far enough, so I'm just going to basically cut about 2 inches in there. We had 5, so we're gonna still be sitting together on 3 inches instead of 5, which is gonna be plenty, and it's also going to put the weld more at the bottom here, which is better for what we need to do. It's gonna be more centered. So let's go, and not that one, that one's good. That one should be almost final. We should just have to cut it a little bit more, but basically this one, we're gonna remove about 2 inches on that. And what's left here is a really good piece. No, you missed that this morning, to be fair, in TV. At some point I was saying, all right, so we're just trying to shrink the shaft by 1 inch. For more tip on how to shrink your shaft by 1 inch, just follow Vinto for more little information on that. And like we were making some super mature PP joke this morning, so you know, classic. Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? If I'm saying like, if you want to shrink it by 1 inch, I'm not gonna have any viewer. Like the male viewer are not looking for that, and I don't think that's a subject a female viewer are looking for too. So, and now we're gonna shrink 2 inches on that shaft. Dual side. So the shaft right there is gonna get reduced by 2 inches. Do you have that in your part of the world, NPV, the TV show called, I don't know if it's that in English, but it's basically doctor, they messed up my surgery, or they failed my surgery. In French, it's a direct translation to that, like doctor, they failed my surgery. That's basically an episode of that right now. Ouch. You're not really watching the TV, I guess. I'm not too, to be fair. That's something I watched like 5 to 10 years ago. Oh, okay, fair. But that one, honestly, that one, not gonna lie, it was on Sunday morning, so sometimes I was just eating breakfast and watching that, and it's kind of interesting because they are going in detail in what failed and why that happened, and like there was a lot of medical information there, and I was like, oh damn, that's cool. That's not like reality TV. I hate that so freaking much. I cannot stand that. But like nowadays, I'm pretty much never watching TV or even TV shows. I'm playing Tarkov instead. All right, let's cut that. Loud noise. Loud noise. All right. Oh yeah, police show. Mainly because criminals are stupid as fuck. Fair, 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 fair. I get that. Front cam. Yeah, no, honestly, I was to ask you like why, but you just answered the question basically, and that makes sense. I mean, they are most of the time. Just like, oh, one thing I love, sometimes I'm watching at night Landmark, and from time to time when there's a police chase, he's watching it live on stream, and honestly, that's pretty dope. Like, the other night, last week basically, there was a police chase where everything was going way too smooth. Like, the person getting chased was slow as fuck on the highway, making stop, using turn signal and everything. And after that, that person went to the countryside and ended up like in a place where it was basically like there was nowhere to go. And the police officers, they were like from the town the chase started, there was just 4 police officers available. And I think, in fact, it was they just have, it's a really small city where they just have 4 police SUV car for chase and stuff like that. So the 3 of them was involved with that, and at some point when the guy screwed that up and ended up in a place where there were nowhere to go, they basically did the pit maneuver on him a little bit. Then they tried to stop him. And one of the police officers put the reverse, then tried to turn and like go straight for the car to hit the front wheel. But I think he just accelerated too much, so he went understeer a little bit and smashed straight into a tree that was in between the car, like the car they were chasing and him. So he just got stuck on a tree, and the guy panicked, put the gas pedal to the floor and jumped. Oh yeah, you saw that? Yeah, well, I saw that live when Landmark was looking at it, and he jumped the parking lot down to the highway. That was mental. From 0 to 100 in like 10 seconds. That was so cool and so funny. Honestly, that was a 10. To be fair, that was a total 10. I love that so much. There you go. So there we should still have the exact same amount of material. Should be at 10 and 3/8 from what we have seen. Yup, pretty much there. So if we want that, okay, was that? Well, okay. The cop car drove straight into a tree. Then the guy jumped 2 parking lot to go straight. That was a GTA trick right there. And jumping straight onto the highway, destroying the car. The car can go anywhere. So the person in there just start running. At first, we were thinking it was a lady with blonde hair, red dress, and some and no shoes on one foot, and a croc on the other foot, and on the left foot, I think. And then while running, the person loses her rag. It's a rag, right? And so loses the blonde hair right there on the parking lot of a restaurant. And now you can see it's a guy who was dressed as a woman that steal a car from a company, and the company is like, it's a pickup truck for climatization and stuff like that. You're like, what the fuck's going on? That was like 0 to 100. We went from a slow chase where the guy is barely hitting 60 miles per hour and using turn signal and stuff like that, to the craziest GTA stunt ever done in real life. That was awesome, honestly. So yep, you can tell I enjoyed that moment. That was like sick. All right, this is our inner shaft technically, so it should look something like this. At some point we're gonna try to also use that on top of here to double weld it, so it's probably going to have a bit of a space like that, and we're gonna be welding that first without that, sitting that on top of the weld here, and then re-welding everything again and using that window here to even weld the center. So it's gonna be that part here, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna be welding the shit out of it, okay? So that's one thing we're gonna do at some point. But before that, let's try that inside the car. So basically right now, if everything is going as planned, I should be able to push that almost to the power steering. And if it's not going and hitting the center, it should be really, really, really close. I should be able to just compress that by 1/4 inch and it's gonna go in place. If that's the case, I'm gonna be shortening that one a little bit more, and then we're gonna be able to start putting our assembly to see where our spring is going to stay. Because basically we need it to be 1/2 inch out here so that we can just compress that spring, put the other spring on top here, and then have it connect with everything at the top. Kind of weird, but honestly that's the best way to do what we are planning to do. Let me grab the cam again, put that in here. And that should be bulletproof. If that's not DIY, I don't know what that is. Dual side. Dual side. There we go. So from here, you won't be able to see inside, of course, but I'm gonna go and I have a little window. That's the hole. I don't know if you see that here, but basically I'm using that hole right here to look inside the car, and this is the hole for the speedometer cable. So it's kind of funny how useful it is for something that's not supposed to be used at that exact moment. So there we go. And now I'm connected without compressing anything. That's a win. And if I'm looking to what I have in here, if I'm trying to use my little Fiat 500 setup there, boom. Now we're lining up and we're gonna be able to connect absolutely everything, maybe even with a little bit of telescopic action in there. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Now everything's lining up, so we are really close to having our steering wheel activating our steering rack. Now we just need to make sure everything is solid, rock solid. So from there, I cannot push it, but I don't have any pressure on it. So this is our full extended part right there. This is really the maximum length it can have. And now we're gonna be compressing it a little bit to make the setup work. Front cam. Didn't work. Front cam. Getting out of the car again. So now we can see how it's working in here. Now we're gonna be compressing that a little bit more. So we need to make sure it's not exactly reaching the top so that we can basically use that as an extension and push that. The only thing I need to take in account, but that we kind of have a little bit of loose in there, is that we might have to slide the bearing part a little bit in and out, just making sure everything is fitting. So I'm gonna be removing that from here, and we're gonna just think about that again a little bit, just making sure I'm not getting anything wrong. There. You can fall to the ground. You can fall to the ground. So basically, how are we going to be able to adjust if we're not exactly sitting at the right place? It's gonna be with the little clamp at the back here. If I'm showing you, just so I can validate myself that I'm not saying stupid things. The idea right now is that it was sitting in a place like that. Before moving it, I'm gonna mark it. That's really not a bad idea. There we go. So now I know it's sitting flush there. So basically, the idea here is if I'm shortening it a little bit too much, I'm still going to be able to slide that out a little bit, and I'm still solid in here, and that's gonna be connecting at the top. And if I'm a bit too long, I can just push it to the inside. So right there, I'm sitting exactly at the same spot. I could even like push it a little bit more inside here, and that means, well, no, I don't want to go too much on that side, just because if I'm doing that, that's gonna mean I'm messing with the output I just measured. So yeah, the only way I can move is up, but at the same time, I don't want to go too high up there. All right, you know what? I'm gonna push it a little bit further down, clamp it, and then I'm gonna be putting that inside the car and see if it's still fitting. If it's still fitting there, we're gonna measure everything from here and make sure that even if it's getting shortened a little bit more, we're gonna be okay. Because basically the idea is that, I'm gonna re-explain it again. When I'm gonna be sitting there, yeah, Datsun's like, he seems unsure, and I am unsure. Basically the idea here, when I'm gonna be adding that spring at the top, is that I'm gonna be compressing that. And with that said, that means I'm gonna lose half an inch of what I did, but I'm gonna be pressing half an inch on top there. So I need to reduce, the contact point from around half an inch. I can go a bit lower than half an inch there, and after that I should be able to press that and make everything fit. And the measurement I'm removing there is gonna be the same measurement I'm gonna put on top here, basically. So with that said, if I'm doing that, doing this, that should all fit together now. Pom, 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 pom. Should and will is two different things. There you go. There, there, and there. Yep, and now can I put that low enough? Nope. So I'm still not able to push that far enough. Why that? Oh, that's probably just stupid like that. Wait a sec. There you go. but I'm still not able to put that high enough. But we're getting there. I will pretend I understand what you're explaining. It's all good. Honestly, at this point, that's really, really messy even in my head, okay? All right, I need to reduce how this is connecting right here, basically, but like, look at this. What I'm explaining basically is that when this plate is gonna be bolted inside the car and this is gonna be stick together, yeah, chop chop again. Basically, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna be compressing the spring at the bottom here, where my finger is moving right now, and that's gonna act like this on the other end, right? So this is where the connection is gonna happen, but I need that to be fully measured with involving that spring here. So right now, with the spring on the top, I cannot compress it enough so I can clamp it at the top, so I need to reduce everything in here. Yep. So it's this tube that needs to get smaller. And then we're gonna have to cut a little bit of the plastic sleeve in here. And then everything should be lining up pretty well. Getting close. I'm starting to see a final product in here. It's starting to look like something. That, and if I put that on top, is that messing with that? No, it's not. All right, that's a good news. It is a little bit. It is just a little bit messing with it. Because probably of those tabs. So what I can do is also reduce that here again by another inch. Should be plenty. And that's gonna slip on top there. See, that's probably catching in that, right? Yep, it is. All right. I need that. So basically I need that to go further down here. So I'm gonna be removing, right now I'm seeing that. Yep, so I'm gonna be removing another inch and I should be good to put that anywhere I want. So it won't be in our way. Let's start with that. So much things to think. Reducing that, testing that again in the car. If we have enough, like around ½ an inch of loose, we're gonna be pretty much start welding everything together. And once this is done, we're gonna be reassembling everything good and for like one final time with that being loose. Push that, connect that to the power steering, fixing that for good, and yeah, everything's gonna be in place. It's getting there. Holy crap, that's a lot of work. If anyone was looking for an easy job, don't start doing car tuning. Holy crap, it's not easy. It's a puzzle. It's a big puzzle. Let's grab the camera. Whee! Back again here. So 1 inch, we're gonna have quite a lot of loose with that. That's gonna be good. Can put you on the side there again. Dual side. Wow. There you go. There and there. There's gonna be fire. An inch and a quarter, I think. It's gonna be even better. Easier to cut again than to cut too much. So an inch it's gonna be. loud noise. Front cam. There you go, boom. Let's grab that again. Let's try to clean the inner edge a little bit. Outer edge is gonna be done later on. So, boop, pivot. There we go. So now this is still working. This is just going, it's just less covered a little bit. So that, with that on top that we're gonna be using for putting our stuff in place, somewhere like this probably. Let's keep a bit of a useful gap there. And then that on top, that should be sitting perfectly around here. And now the spring. And that needs to sit about half an inch over. Now I'm derp. Honestly, right now that's some big brain stuff, but like, even for me, that's too much big brain stuff in one day. It's a bit insane. That, and if I'm taking the measuring tape, now we should be around just a touch over half an inch from where we need it to be. The bottom, the top edge there. Yeah, we are 5/8 away. Are we trying that? I mean, that could work. Because basically what I was saying is that I'm gonna be compressing that. So this is gonna get compressed against, like I'm gonna have to hold it at the top, and I'm gonna be compressing the shaft through that up here, so I can add a safety clip there that needs to keep it compressed. So that's gonna be quite a big deal to make it fit properly. I feel like removing a 1/4 inch at the bottom there will not be a bad idea, because basically just doing that, I'm gonna be a bit too close, but that will work. Yeah, basically what's preventing it from going too far down is that thing here, so it's not even that. So this is just going to help us like try to put it at the center the best way possible, and then there's not gonna be much left to do and much that we can do for that. So here also just making sure, we're gonna have to test that again in the car, making sure we are a bit further away from where we need it to stand. So yeah, let's remove another 1/4 inch in here. Then after that, we're gonna start moving to the car again and test fit it inside the car once and for all. With that setup that we just replaced, we just slipped that tube a little bit further down, and with that, if we are about half an inch away from where we need it to sit, it should be quite good. Dual side. Right, so I'm going back in here. Gonna do that. Gonna crush that in here. Trying not to crush my finger at the same time. That will suck. Some will laugh, but me, I think it will suck. Yep, just a 1/4 inch is gonna be probably plenty for what we need. Easier to cut twice, like I said, and that's what we're doing right now. And like you see, it's not really an accurate cut. It's really just around there because we can always play with everything before welding that for good. There you go. Loud noise. All right, so another cut, sip of coffee. With that said, now this should fit perfectly. This should slip in to a place where it was. Oh man. All right, fun fact. That could have been staying at the exact same spot as it was. Basically, it just went back to its place, and that makes sense now, because this is basically preventing that from going too far down. There, and then that, and I have the exact same kind of measurement that I had before. On my side, I'm gonna be putting that just a bit further up, so there's gonna be a little bit more stress on the spring. But yeah, basically it's going right where it was. Makes total sense now that I'm thinking of it. See, that's what I was telling you, too much big brain stuff happening. And there we go. So now this is more logical. I'm just going to have to compress that. Like that washer on top, that gold washer need to be compressed down to that notch on the rod there. So we can see it right under the spring. So that's gonna get compressed and locked, and this is what's gonna maintain the tension in there. So if I'm removing that, putting that through here, like this, putting the plastic sleeve on top there, plastic sleeve that I'm gonna have to cut because it can go further than that now because we have shortened that so much. There's nothing we can do about it. Then it's gonna be that thing here. Oh no, it can, okay. It can go up to that, so we're gonna have to put that a little bit. Oh, I forgot to put the spring on this side, so I have to remove everything. Yay! Win! I'm doing stupid things right now. Help. Help. Stupid things happening. Help. Like that. Spring. This. All right, let's start again. That. Oh my God. All right, let's start again. Derp, 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 derp. Sending that in like so. this in place, not like that. Oh my God, I hate myself right now. Okay, let's keep that there. That's at the end. Like this, like that, like this. Now we're getting somewhere. Now that still need to go further down there, I guess. Because that, and then that. Oh, did I take a measurement with the wrong thing in place? I think I did. Did I screw up? All right, let me rewatch that. No. I mean, I know I don't have final screw that up, but it's not looking like I was expecting it to look, and that's because I'm pretty sure I've done one mistake. And that mistake is I took a measurement with only that in place, getting against that here. And with that said, now I'm pretty good. Which means why would I need that? That's working so well at the bottom. That could be that, honestly. Just one spring, pushing that up and down, bringing that up. Okay. So when I'm saying I screwed that up, is that here I took a measurement, I think, with no spring in there, and that's a fail. But now everything's looking good in here, and it's working great sitting against the bearing directly, like no spring at all. And I could put tension on top there to hold it in place. Let me try something. Because honestly, right now, that could be one solution to make it a bit more simple, but still working great. That. There's no way this is moving anywhere. If I'm welding that together, I can still take it out for now, like this. And if needed, I can also push that a little further back. Otherwise, I need to do that and compensate for everything. All right, that's getting a bit annoying to think about all that because it's getting a bit complex. But I guess what is complexity, right? All right, let me try something. We're gonna put that inside the car and make sure of what's happening, because it's only in the car that it matters. Like, I think this is pretty much the length we need, but it was not taking into account the freaking spring at the bottom, but we might be able to get rid of it. However, it's not putting pressure on the bearing, which is not the greatest thing. So we're gonna take a look, because basically, okay, if I have screwed up right there, I can still just weld that like this, and that will still be good, but it's not as good as this, you see? Like here, I'm a bit too close to edge, so, but I can always take like maybe 3/4 of the length of the spring and just remove that here, and that will kind of work, but not my best scenario, to be fair. I'm saying it's not putting force against the weld, but that's kind of false. Against the bearing, but that's not really true. because it's gonna be forcing against it a little bit with a lot of grease. All right, so if I'm taking the full measurement of that, yep, that's my 10 and 5/8 right there. And that's against that with no spring. Well, in fact, that's less than 10 in the 5/8, yeah. Yeah, 10 and 3/8. Let's try inside the car. The only way to answer the question of if we screw that up or not. All right. Dual side. All over there again. Oh, the sun is shiny and the sun looks great outside. It just said that we won't see it because we're working on a car and we are breaking stuff. Maybe, we don't know yet, but it's not looking good. Is there a longer screw? That one's a little bit longer, so I'm gonna use it for the top. Right, that's going like this, like that. How am I reaching that again? All right, I managed to reach one. I think, yep, that's holding right there. I'm gonna grab the other one and try to reach the top one here. All right, I think I got it this time. Yep, I did. Nice. So that's gonna be even more precise. 2 out of 2 for testing that. Whew. Okay. Whew, I'm a bit stressed now because, like I said, if this is working in place, that means I screw that up with the spring. Not something that we cannot repair, just a bit harder to repair. So basically here we're still in place, yep. I think we are. Maybe it did slip a little bit. We're trying to put that around here, there, like that, like this. Let's see. Right now we're too long. So that's a good sign for the spring to fit in there. I cannot put that accurately with that. But yes, so that's past the shaft there. That's right against the end. Okay, so I'm good in here. I'm not sure I understand why. But right now I'm good. So I need to remove part of the length of the spring in down here to make it work up there. Because that needs to get on the inner side. So far this is working. However, this is not. Oh my God, that's so complicated. Help, chat, help. I need brain cells. Put your hand in the air and send me all your brain cells. I need them. front cam, front cam. This is working in the car with the spring. However, here on the bench, what we were testing that, when we were testing that, basically that here is sitting perfectly in place. That's gonna be a win too, right? Like that, and now if I'm putting the washer on top and compressing, it's working to lock it up. Which means I just have to put that away from the top a little bit more, because now it's hitting the power steering a little bit too much. So everything's gonna get further down here, which means, all right, I'm removing about, I'm gonna start with a 1/4 inch on that rod right here. So everything here is getting down. So in the car, I should be pressing that in place with the big spring, and it should fit and be a 1/4 inch away from the power steering, which is okay because we're gonna be compressing that spring at the bottom. So far so good. Then when we're gonna be a 1/4 inch more at the bottom here, this here is not going to fit properly with that because it's gonna hit again on that. So everything in here needs to come down a 1/4 inch. So basically I'm gonna remove a 1/4 inch again on that one, move that a 1/4 inch down there, and then remove a 1/4 inch there. So everything's gonna be able to slide. So that setup we have right here needs to move a 1/4 inch down. So that gap, everything needs to move down a little bit, and it's gonna work. Yup. That's gonna work. The hardest part is going to be to center that for the welding, but that's something I'm not thinking about right now because I'm afraid of that. I want to take a look at one thing though. If I'm cutting that, can I use that as a solid spacer to... Yep. I might try to reuse the middle part there, like just the tiny part there, to use as a spacer to center that in there before welding. So we will just have it flushly mounted. There's like almost no play to that. So we're gonna try to cut that on both sides and just press to the outer side of the rod. We should be able to do that. Drop that right on top there, on top of that. Cool. Yep. Yep. We have a plan. So a 1/4 down on that big rod here, and onto that big rod there, that tube. Then we can cut that to try to make a spacer at the same time. All right, we're gonna do something with that. We're gonna make it work. And we're starting with a 1/4 inch, but it could be a possibility to remove more than a 1/4 inch in the end, just to make the spring have more tension. Right now, I'm going with a low tension on the spring, both sides. So basically, if I'm following the idea, I'm gonna have a 1/4 inch difference on the top, and like at the top, it's gonna be a 1/4 inch, like from that little spacer I have on there. So that little thing here is gonna add a 1/4 inch of, like, I'm gonna have to compress by a 1/4 inch at the top to connect that. And like right now, it's some drawing in my mind. It's really crazy. The hamster is going fast and it's hard, and it's burning, it's smelling like smoke in here. But yeah, so basically pressing that a 1/4 inch, we can clip it, and I'm gonna make sure I'm a 1/4 inch away from the power steering, which means when I'm gonna compress the bottom spring by a 1/4 inch, I'm gonna be connecting to the power steering, and that is 2 1/4 inch, which means 1/2 inch split in two. Win. I have a plan. And that's why I love doing that. Use your brain. All right. Let's do that, let's do this, that. Dual side. Dual side. There you go. So we're gonna be chopping that from, did I say 1/4 inch? I'm not sure. Let's say that again. Say that with me, 1/4 inch. All right, so, and that's still going to sit down at the bottom of that, which is pretty awesome because that's something we wanted. I'm just gonna make sure I'm really having a 1/4 inch. My brain is frying right now, so I'm gonna make sure I'm marking that properly. There you go. So 2 cuts, I'm gonna do them back to back. Let's go, chat. Loud noise. Undo the muted, sorry. Loud noise. It seems like the grinder is saying voice at some point when he's cutting. So I just had a battery that went flat, so we're gonna be putting that straight into that little charger, and I just took the smaller one. I have a bit of dust in there. I think we have cut it quite a few things. That and that front cam. Now, if I'm reassembling everything from what we managed to think with a brain, it seems like we're gonna be really close to the power steering unit. That's not something I'm gonna be able to show you, but I'm gonna test it, and if we are, we're gonna be in the exact spot we need to push that to its place. So, with that said, I'm gonna be cleaning that. Like this. If I'm putting that in here with that there and sliding that right on top at around the same spot it was, like something probably like this. That's the straightest cut we did so far, I think. And then I'm putting that on top here. We should be having a really good setup. in place. And I lost, it's on the ground, of course. So see, just like that, I guess. So if we're looking at it there, then, all right, that's in place. I think we're gonna be able to tack it in place, that little spacer here, basically. There, and there. Yep, with that, we could be compressing that properly. That will mean a super duper strong, just a tiny bit of pressure on the spring, holding that together, making that work, then that inside the car. So let's test that right away inside that car, because everything is mounted in there. So we don't need that, we don't need this. I'm gonna bring the camera up there. Dual side. There you go. Like that. So I'm gonna push that again through the wall with the spring. That's the important part. I need the spring to be in there. And I think the other part of the spring is still in place. Yep. The seat for it. And that should be just a little bit over a 1/4 inch away from hitting that. And it is touching, not touching, touching, not touching, touching, not touching. And that's flexing. So we're gonna have place, and I'm gonna be able to slide it a little bit to the outside or the inner side. Yeah, I think if we want it to work properly, another 1/4 inch, and it's gonna be perfect. I swear that's gonna be perfect. Another 1/4 inch. That's gonna be half an inch, which is the compression we were able to push in here. Or maybe not a 1/4, but close to it. Now let's go with a 1/4, because basically I can press that a little bit more to the inner side. Right there, if I'm sitting here, what is it giving us for the connection to the bottom? It's so geeky right now, all the things. Yeah, that's a bit flush, right? I'm moving the cam with the direction of the car. It's a bit flush, but this is working. But if it could be even further down there, that will be perfect. Because now that will mean I can use the telescopic part to connect it. Yep, let's go with another 1/4 inch, and that's gonna be perfect. Pretty sure. Looking at this, pretty sure. And that's the leap of faith, because if it's not working, we're gonna end up with something too short, and that's not ideal to rework that. So let's do that, let's do this. Yep, we're gonna prepare everything, tack everything once, and then making sure we can connect everything. Yep. All right. I'm getting out of the car. Front cam. So, full send at this point. Shortening that again a 1/4 inch. We're gonna be tight here. That's gonna be perfect. We're gonna be about half an inch further away from the power steering unit, which means when I'm gonna be compressing that to about half an inch, we should be pretty close. And we're gonna use the fact that we bring the tube a little bit further down so we can push it a little bit further back in the end. That's why I redid that at the beginning of the stream, so that we can weld the Subaru plug, the Subaru connector on top here, connect that to the power steering, slide it, and just basically fix that through the firewall on the mounting plate. So it's gonna be sliding in the mounting plate, mount that, finalize everything, then we can just use that to bring it in and out of the car. So that's a good thing. One thing I'm gonna look also, while I'm here, I'm gonna remove again the plate, so dual side. So that plate there with the hole, I'm gonna remove it again. Reason for that, I wanna take a look if I can push the tube on both sides. Like if I can come from the outside to the inside, or I really have to be on one particular side. Because basically I would like to mount that plate in place for good. Oh, and I have my answer. It's gonna be from the inside when I'm gonna be welding that Subaru flange in place. I won't have the place to there, and there. Yep, once that flange is gonna be in place, there's gonna be no way I can push that through here like that, because basically my idea right now, but I'm gonna be able to push it on the other side technically from here, since the flange we're adding in there is shorter. Yep, front cam. So basically here, what I'm gonna do, well, no, I'm not going to remove it right now because we need it to stay in place, but basically that's what I'm talking about. Here, if needed, if removing a quarter inch again is a little bit too much for when the springs are gonna be compressed, I'm gonna be able to slide that out of the car. So that should work, that should make it. That's a lot of should, but I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident now. It's just like I was struck by a great idea, like all the light whoa, on me, and I'm really sure that's gonna work, and that's gonna be something solid, like a really, really good setup. With that said, it's time to do it though. I don't even know if I'm gonna have to weld those together in the end, because that's gonna sit where it has to sit on that shaft there. So it's not going to go anywhere. Like this is gonna sit there like that, and this is going to sit on top, and it won't be able to go further down than that. So I can be keeping that like this. Put the spring on top there, click, click. Loading the bearing, we're good. Once the bearing's loaded, we're good. And that means it cannot move further back down. It will be just a safety to weld it basically, but not mandatory. We might just tack weld it then, like cut a little bit of the plastic there, but that's something for the end when we're gonna be reassembling everything. So yep, a quarter inch again. And then we're gonna start assembling those kind of stuff. Because basically the spring's gonna press against that, on that. So I'm gonna have to tack weld that for sure. But there's no needs to change anything in here. Quarter down, but that's staying in the same spot. I'm thinking out loud, chat, sorry for that. But basically this is staying in the same spot, that's going a quarter down, but we are removing another quarter inch there. So, plonk, everything's getting a bit further down, plonk, but keeping that gap the same. Okay, so that makes sense. Then tack weld that in the center there, 2 little tack, or maybe that, and on the other side we'll see. just to keep it in place. Once this is done, we're gonna be able to set everything, press the spring, and see how it reacts with everything in place. Cool. And then in the end, it's gonna be adding the flange on the edge there, and that's gonna be the thing that needs to be the most precise in our entire assembly. Well, not only that, but big part of it needs to be quite precise. So we're gonna bring that in that here again. I'm gonna cut that. So let me turn the camera. We can tell that it's a bit more geeky this afternoon and a little bit less prepared on my side. Well, less prepared. I just cannot prepare that. It's just, you need to dive into it and believe. But like, for the viewer, it's not the easiest to follow. So sorry for that. You are some warrior if you're still there. You're like following my mindset on a different level right now. It's quite rare that people can see my brain go crazy like that. There you go. That's gonna be another quarter. That's gonna be another quarter. So there you go. Boom, 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 boom. Can remove that and put that on the side here. Let's start with that one. We're almost missing a bit of vice grip to hold it properly. That's insane. All right, sending it again. Loud noise. Good. Another good one done. Why am I always throwing those washers on the ground? My hands are disgusting, but so are my hair, so I'm trying to place them, but that's gonna be hard. Let's go. There you go. Where's the washer gone? There. So now this is sitting. Yes, exactly. That's pretty awesome, to be fair. Bloodstone, the warrior who's still here after my brain went nuts and I was like, blah, 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 and talking so much because I was thinking out loud. But yeah, that thing here, I bought it for quite nothing. Is it the real name, Rifle Leg? That's pretty awesome, honestly. I really love that after cutting stuff. And that's still my first blade, so I haven't used it that much, but now it's getting a bit worn out, so we're gonna have to take care of that, but yeah. All right, so now if I'm doing that, I should be coming out of here quite strong. So I'm gonna be doing this. Like I said, I'm gonna have to tack weld that to get the real result there. Oh, but that's true. Now that I shortened that, I'm gonna have one problem. Here I'm sitting at the bottom, so I'm gonna have to reduce that also. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna make sure I'm okay with that one because it's sitting on the edge there. Yep, it is sitting against that. So with that one, all good. I love it. Thank you, Blood. Honestly, I appreciate that kind of comments. I know I already told you that yesterday and the day before, but it's really, really appreciated. Like, it's kind of weird to tell myself like, hey, someone think I'm a good thing to watch, and that's cool. All right, yep, so that's what we're going to do. So basically here, looking at this, I can go and push that. I often fab to this string. That's hot. Well, that's a compliment, not gonna lie. Love it. Like dirty man's hand, you love that, let's go. All right, so basically, as you can see, I'm gonna have to push that to lock this side here, and this one's gonna be against that. So we're not even, like, we don't even need the rest of the setup to lock this spring and load the bearing on this side. So that's gonna be awesome. And then after that, we're gonna be moving a little bit down to the bottom spring. But now everything should work. However, here, we need to cut a little bit more stuff on there. Right now, I'm pretty confident I can tack weld the holding tab in here. It's right on its spot. We can make sure everything's okay with that. So I'm just going to weld it a little, just tack weld both sides of it, and then we're gonna move on and keep going. So let's try that. And it's at this moment I realize it's not welding. I cannot weld that, but no. It should be some steel, some really, really, really strong steel. By the way, good afternoon, Nick Azroff. Hope you're doing well. Nick Azroff, sais-tu, si j'oublie tout le temps à chaque fois. Me semble que c'est ton side account. Pas en meeting? Ah, c'est ça, ok, c'est good. Hey, bonjour, comment vas-tu? Regarde la Datsun, regarde tous les trucs. Je fabrique des affaires, holy shit. Man, en ce moment, je suis en train de refaire le système de volant au complet, ok? Mais genre tout custom. Subaru, Fiat, Datsun, all mixed up together. Pretty insane. Welding time. Dual side. All right, that. Can put that on the max setting because we have plenty of material in there. So basically the idea here is gonna be really simple. I'm just gonna do a weld in the little window right on top here. So in the center there, I'm gonna be just welding that little part here, flip it around, and do the same thing on the other side, just to hold it for good in its place. And that way we're gonna be able to work with it without having a fear that it moves around. And at the end, we're gonna be full welding that, but for now, just 2 tack and it's gonna work. So turning that on, just cutting the end of the welding wire. There you go. And it's moving because I'm not having a good cable management in here. Can you please not? There you go. First tack weld. A bit more than a tack, but and I'm just gonna bring a little bit loose on that. Tack welding inside there. Shouldn't be too hard. Did it weld? Yes, it did. All right. Just that's gonna be enough to hold it in place. Boom. Donc, quand je vois que Gigaré sub ici, là, oh, il encourage les gens sur le chômage. En fait, il fait la charité, j'aime ça. So that's super hot now. We need to take care not to grab that with our bare hand. There you go. All right. I'm gonna keep the gloves, in fact. So with that said, that means now we should be able to press the spring against that. Just going to remove a little bit on top. Loud noise. Loud noise. All right. Okay, bye. So now this is sitting flush. That we could be pressing that against that, mounting the spring, and everything will be locked together and working. So that's awesome. That's what we want. So basically we're just going to cut the excessive amount of metal at the bottom of this tube so that we're gonna be able to put that right in place. Basically it's sitting in here where there is the dent in the middle, so we can really cut it quite a good chunk and it's gonna work perfectly. I'm saying that, but I want to make sure it's still sleeping inside here. So basically, yeah, you see that if I'm going, I think it's gonna sit somewhere around there. So cutting that at the bottom of that circle should be plenty. So let's do that. Yep, that's still hot. Front cam. There you go. Pushing that on the side there. That. Pour de vrai, tantôt, not gonna lie, the brain was going nuts. I was like on a crazy problem to make everything fit, and gosh, that was hard to solve. I'm gonna try to cut it from here because it's not going to hold in that bottom part there. Right, hopefully it's gonna stay in there. I'm gonna go and just cut it right there. No need for measuring on this one. Oh, dual side. dual side. Let me try to make the camera hold in place. Let's go. That loud noise. Ok, il avait pas repris la voix quand j'y ai dit voice, parce qu'en gros c'est des commandes vocales, fait que shit happens sometimes. Ah, c'est chaud. Now we still need to make sure everything's sitting in place. That's not a problem. And that here should be sitting right there. And I don't think it's going entirely in there. That's another part. We're gonna have a bit of a play. And now, that being said, I should be able to lock it since it's tack welded. Should be able to do that, and that. Go right above that. All right, we're gonna try that. Let's go. Time to test if it's locking. So when I was talking about a C-clip, this is the kind of clip I'm talking about. This is going to hold the pressure of the spring itself. So it needs to be quite good. And it needs to do the job properly. I'm gonna go on the workbench. That's gonna be easier, I think. Dual side. So basically what I'm gonna do is use the bench to sit the washer on each side of it. But first of all, I need to slide that on top. There. I'm hearing something. Is it the computer case of the girlfriend coming home? That would be cool. Ah, je fais un nouveau type de build. Ça va être tellement sick. C'est pas une grosse différence là, mais pour Flo, on fait un inverted case pour que la vitre soit du côté opposé de normal. Vu que sur son setup de bureau, sinon ça serait pas assez show-off. Elle aurait juste le dos, genre. Right, I'm just struggling with that one. I'm gonna grab a plier. C'est pas du custom, c'est un case de Be Quiet. I'm gonna say that in English. Maybe Bloodstone is even interested with that. But like, yeah, I'm gonna try to make a new kind of build with an inverted case for like a PC mid case. And basically, it's from Be Quiet. It's something that is fully reversible. So. Yeah, I know, right? So that's crazy. And basically there was one we found that was basically a case that was coming with the glass on the right side, But this one from Be Quiet is coming with the glass on the left side. However, it is fully reversible. So the way the panels are assembled together, you can basically unscrew everything and flip the entire thing from side to side. And just that is pretty awesome. There we go. With the right clamp, everything's working great. Yep, that's really smart. But honestly, like, I think there is like 6 different kind of PC case that are inverted, but Flo really wanted a white PC case, which means there was like 2 choice. But even there, one of the 2 choice is not even available anymore. So yeah, that was quite of a struggle. All right, so that should work there. Should. I haven't said it will, but it should. So basically I need to bring that C-clamp right into the notch. So I need to press that. And for pressing that, I think I'm gonna need the other end. So just wait there. Don't fall. It's not falling so far. Oh my God, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah, because she couldn't stand having something too normal. So, you know, come on. That's not working. Maybe I can use the side, in fact. Yeah, the side might be even easier. I'm gonna remove the spring at the back here. So it should give me also a bit more clamping force. There we go. That's gonna be easier. You still seeing? Not really, but come on, just slide. The bottom side of it, don't want to slide in. C-clamp can be a pain in the ass, to be fair. You have to be aware of that when working with those. That's my alarm, because usually I will have a class tonight, but it's the mid-session, so I'm all good. Keep going. We need to get that done. Someone's going nuts, and my neighbor is like putting a lot of gas on his motorcycle for no reason. I guess that's a boomer thing. Right, let's just try to slide that on top there. Sorry, I hit the cam. There, I can see where it needs to go, but I can't put it through there. All right. Let's just try to push that in here. Oh, progression right there. Just need to hold that till I can press that on the side there. Oh, I heard a click. It's almost in place. Trying to get out a little bit. Oh, that side there is not happy. Has been deformed a little bit.
There we go. And the back edge there, right in place. Boom. Just want to make sure it's gonna stay there. It's a bit deformed, so I'm gonna have to make sure it's okay, but like, there you go. So that here, that's working. So our spring right there is working, and we're just gonna have to fiddle around, but basically we have a middle shaft there. Hey, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao, Alex. Did I miss something? So we're gonna have to lube it back because it's a bit clunky now with all the cutting. There was some metal particles getting inside there, but at least we are having something pretty neat. So we're just going to try to force that a little bit more to its place because like I said, it deformed a little bit for some reason. I don't think it's when I removed it, but I mean, it could be also, who knows. These C-clamps are not really the strongest thing in the world. There you go, that's pretty awesome. All right, so one part of the problem is in here, and with that said, we can always move that. So we're gonna have to remove it anyway. It's really a test for the concept, but we can basically slide that to put that wherever we want. But with that said, we need to keep in mind that we're gonna have also everything at the bottom here. So yeah. I'm saying that, and maybe we're gonna have to cut the black tube even more, or the plastic one, who knows? No, it's sitting to its place, so we might have to cut the tube because this is not sitting to its full, oh yes it is. It's pushing on that. But that's gonna be getting out here a little bit. But at least we have a proof of concept right there that this is still working. Need a bit of fluid, but yeah, front cam. Front cam. There you go. So that's gonna be the part connecting to the power steering inside the car. The last step is gonna be to weld there. That's not something we can do right now because we need to make sure everything is finalized other than that, because that's gonna be really locking the entire piece there together. Only thing that's gonna be able to get removed is that metal plate there. We're gonna be able to slide it in and out from here, but that's basically it. I just struggle against the C-clamp, and I think I'm gonna already remove it. I'm gonna wait a little bit to make sure where everything is sitting. I think I'm gonna try to put that inside the car, in fact, and see where this is sitting inside the car. Then we're gonna see where the front here is sitting, and we're gonna be able to decide from there. Basically, what I'm the most afraid of is that here right now, like that, I'm pushing that a little bit. So maybe we're gonna have to, like, I'm pushing that, but with the spring, I think I'm not going to be pushing it. So therefore that means like that, like this, and like that. Yeah, right now I'm not pushing it at all. So since it's not moving, it seems like it's not like going at the bottom of that, which means probably that black is that's it, that black thing. Yeah, because it needs to slide down even more. So yeah, the black tube, I removed a chunk on it, but I need to remove even more. Because yeah, if we're looking at it, the black metal piece here is hitting the bottom of the metal balls in there, which means it's not going further down than that. And now I will need it to slide a little bit more. I think that's gonna be something we can confirm only inside the car. So that's why I'm gonna try to just slip that right in there and see what it is giving us. Because normally what we measured was when it was bottling down that RTFM. C'est quoi RTFM? Good afternoon, Lord Billbuck, by the way. What's up, my boy? Read the freaking manual. There's no manual for what we're doing. There's no manual for what we're doing, okay? This was that long, and this is a custom shaft done with all the Datsun part we butchered. Yep, there's just no road where we're heading. We are making the road to the awesomeness. Disons que c'est dans le heavily modified. Ça va être une pièce d'origine, mais qui a tellement été butchered down que c'est ça. And yep, I'm right. It needs to get further down because right now, if it's not hitting the bottom there, it's not going to fit inside there. It's hitting the power steering unit. It's not going flush to it or even further down. So we're gonna see how much we have that we can remove there. Because right now, basically, yeah, it needs to hit the bottom of this part right there. If it's not, we're not doing the things right. So for that black part, we can remove just way more material than we expected, because basically it doesn't matter. Here it's sitting against that piece we just tack welded, so we're okay with that. And then we're gonna move that further down. So I think we can just go ahead and cut it just on top of that circle right there. For that, am I removing the entire thing? Yeah, I'm gonna be removing it. It's gonna be easier to make a straight cut. So basically, I'm gonna unpin the spring and make sure everything is working well. Dual side. There we go. So we're gonna push that again in here. Well, in fact, I don't need that to be in here. I can just open that up. The only thing I need to take care is that this spring's gonna unload quite quickly. There you go. That wasn't too bad. Now with that said, we can just go ahead and open up the C-clamp even more, just so we can slip it out. Put that on the side here where we're not going to lose it. It was there for a few weeks and everything went fine, so let's go like that, like this, like that. And then we're gonna be cutting that again up to here. We were missing just a little, well, quite a chunk, so we're gonna make sure we're cutting more than less, because like I said anyway, those tabs right here, they are hitting the top here that we tack welded in place. So, and later on we're gonna be welding that entirely in place, so everything should be perfect. Yeah, so let's go. Pump, 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 pump. Let's move that to somewhere where it's not going to get more dust in there than it needs to have. C'est un bout que t'étais pas passé. Le projet a quand même énormément avancé, Billbox. Pour de vrai, c'est genre freaking insane. Mais c'est de la job. Pour de vrai, quelqu'un qui cherche de quoi de relax, c'est pas vraiment un truc relax faire une aussi grosse modification de voiture. All right, let's cut that right there. Should hold. Loud noise. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna bring the air duster just because I want to make sure we're gonna have something slightly more clean in there. We were feeling that the bearing was a bit loose. I'm maybe gonna try to push some lube already in there just to help it out. So when we're gonna be clamping it all over again, we should be quite good. Because right now I can feel that it's not super happy. I'm gonna throw some WD-40 in there, and also after that we're gonna grease that. Nailed it. Do you know what? When you're lubing something, it's sleepy. That's way better. It's way more happy with that. And we're gonna have to grease that a little bit then. So that's done. I'm gonna also remove a chunk of plastic there because we're really getting close to the point where we're not gonna have to touch that again. So yep, I'm gonna be packing also a little bit of grease in there, some bearing grease, so it's gonna stay super clean for quite a long time. There we go. But right now it's really more happy to go, so that's pretty cool. That. So I said, oh yeah, plastic. I'm gonna remove the first two rows in there. Dual side. There you go. I don't want to crush it too much. I don't want it to explode. So we're just gonna put no pressure on it at all. Loud noise. Voice. All right, so with that done, we should be good to go. Front cam. There you go. So that should be able to slip right there. Yes, it is. Now, with that said, we should be able to put that right in there. But we don't need that to assemble everything because it's gonna sit against that over there. So that's gonna be awesome. That is here. There, and there. Now all we need to do is to push the C-clip again in place. Dual side. All right, so let me try that. I'm gonna use my special plier again for the C-clip. In fact, I'm gonna go from the top. That's gonna be even easier. Close that a little bit, and with that I should be good to go. So But I'm just gonna try to do the same thing as previously. So sliding the C-clip on top of that edge. That is quite a big edge to get through. Once we're good like this, almost good. Not good entirely. Really need the entire thing to go through. Rah. I'm gonna try to do that another way. I kind of don't know how I did that previously, because right now I'm not getting there at all. There we go. But still, I'm having trouble on one side. There you go. I just need to keep that in place and then press that against that here. Like that. All right. That's kind of holding in place. Now we're just going to push it through. Just gonna make sure I'm just hitting the washer there. Yes, we are. And then we're gonna close it a little bit. There we go. It's not really slipped in. No, it is. There we go. That's a good C-clip. Yeah. And this is more, whoa, this is more happy than it ever was. And with some more lube, it's gonna be even better. Let's go. So here we have our shaft front cam. Now, if I'm putting that through here, it should hit the bottom side there. It's way more down in here. Putting that, pulling this, and now we are okay. Yep, now that's working. I need to compress that a little bit though, but that should work perfectly. I mean, it does make sense because the final assembly, I'm gonna have to go through that. So yeah, that is working. Like that, and basically this is going through that. So we're gonna have this welded together, and at the end I'm gonna have to assemble that part here really at the end through the entire tube there. So I'm gonna have to push the first spring at the bottom to basically compress that enough so this I can clip it in place, and it's gonna distribute the pressure on both sides. So basically right here, that's gonna sit, well, I'm on the wrong way around. That's gonna sit like this. And I'm gonna have to get that compressed a little bit to make it work. Yep. All right then, we're getting closer and closer. So this here should be something that put in the car is fitting perfectly in place through that, so everything is moving poop towards that. So what is the next step? I think it's gonna be to finalize the inner rod. So that means we're removing that again. Like that top section here can just go. And basically we're gonna be removing that part just so we can basically finalize that section, all stick together like this. And yeah, that should be good. Let's try that again inside the car quickly, just to see where it sits so that I don't have to worry about anything else after that, about distance with the power steering. So technically, if I'm holding that there, I'm a bit too much there, but there I'm okay. Yes, that is working. Like that. Whoop. We're gonna be able to slide that. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about that. Okie dokie. Whew. We're getting somewhere. Now, we're gonna try to use what I was thinking to use for the spacer to prevent that movement. So when we're gonna be welding, it's gonna be sitting right at the middle then. I mean, that's one Vinto power. It's going freaking fast, I tell you that. Well, not that much because the car is still not finished. Lol. Where is the part I want to use? Honestly, it's quite fun to have a hoist to get inside there. Like, just see what you're doing. Honestly, let's say that this project will be not impossible, but I don't think I will have went that way for the steering, the power steering and everything if I was sitting on the ground to do that. Like, forget it. Honestly, I would have paid for an old ass steering rack from Datsun, put that in there and call it done. It would have worked, but I would have that sluggish feeling from old cars, basically. And this is why we're not going this way, because I want it to feel really great. This is what I was looking for here. So see, here we're gonna try to cut that and press out this little part here, so the tube, the rod in the center. So basically that's gonna allow us to reuse the spacer to use that as a guide to weld in place our stuff. So let's go, dual side. Another cutting session. Maybe I'm gonna try to do that this way again. This is working pretty well. There's really a clamp for tube in the center there. I'm too far up. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna cut just before the hole we drilled. So this way I might be able to get that part here out of there. So that will be cool. So let's go. Loud noise. Dual side. Battery went down. It was flat. Let's hope that one has time to charge. It's telling me that yes. Loud noise. All right, that's probably super hot. Well, not the back, let's go. That one is probably. So one thing I already noticed, it's slipping out. There you go. I just saw it trying to get out of there. So basically that's pressed together, but we were able to just extract that easily. Well, it went out by itself, so we're gonna be able to use that as a spacer to make sure our welds are gonna be in the right place. So that's awesome. Front cam. So what I'm saying with that, you let me show you, is that this little hat here, we're gonna be able to sit that in here and press our tube right in the middle there. Oh, it's not fitting, no! Right, we might have to try to re-drill that. Not gonna touch it yet because it's probably still super hot. I don't think I have a drill bit that's big enough for that, but I have something else that should do the job. Yup. Look at this. We should be able to drill it just a tiny bit more to remove the teeth in there and make it work. I'm saying that, but I'm not sure we're gonna have enough material for that. On this side, is it working? Oh, it's so flush. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do that, in fact. Shit. That would have been too good. Or we can try to, just like we did with that Willwood adapter, we could just be sending the edge of that rod to slip that in. Like basically that was going right in there a little bit, we could use that. So yeah, I think that is what we're going to do. Just going to try to use that and just fake that, and with a belt sander remove a bit of material, because it's really by maybe a millimeter all around, not even a millimeter. So we're gonna try to remove just enough material to make it slip right on top of each other. Well, I'm getting tired, so to be fair, I'm really getting tired, so I don't know if that's something I want to do now, but at the same time, we're pretty much there. And if I'm waiting, that's gonna be until next Monday, and that's a bit far away, to be fair. Because basically we will be sitting that in there, welding everything together. Yeah, that's not even hot anymore. So that will be sitting in there, making a great spacer in between. And then we will be welding that all together. So that in here, welding that all around, then welding the top here. I will need to cut it even more though, to make sure we're not having too much of ellipse in there, because we need to preserve a bit of space to weld both sides in here and then both together right after that. But that will be lining up perfectly, at least helping lining up perfectly, I guess, because that's sitting right on top here. Yep, If it's fitting tight, that will be helping us doing a really good spacer in there. So it needs to go through that. Oh yeah, and that means it needs to go through like a lot. Fair. Yep, I think we're gonna try to remove material on both sides, making sure that's gonna take a long ass time. But at the same time, it's gonna be sitting so well together that it's gonna be easier for us later on. So I think that's the idea, and making that like just a tiny amount there and welding all that together. Yep, because once it's gonna be there, we're gonna be pressing that hard, tacking it in place in 2 spots, sliding that in, then tacking that and welding the shit out of it. That's the plan. Yep, that's gonna be something for next week. So goal of the week is not achieved for this week. We were expecting to get that done, but that was way more difficult than I expected. Honestly, that is next level. This is crazy hard. But I'm really happy on how it's going so far. We're pretty much there. We're like, everything is in our hands. Pretty much all the parts are merged together. Not everything is fitting, but like we're having that kind of module here. Well, not module, but like assembly that is working well. No loose, no nothing. Just looking similar to what it looks like from OEM. Okay, bye. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then it's gonna be, honestly, I think the place where I have the most chance to fuck it up is when we're gonna be welding that, because that's gonna be really on the edge, sadly, so if we want it to fit properly. But other than that, pretty much there, to be fair. This and this put together, welded, I'm not really scared of it. That's gonna be like a shitload of welds merging everything together, since we have quite a lot of space to go through here. I'm saying that I'm gonna make sure, yeah, we have enough space so the weld can be quite thick and everything. So that's gonna be something. Then we're gonna have that welded, that pressed together, spring press, pushing that through there, and then yeah, anything else? I don't think so. We're gonna be pressing that through the workbench, probably clamping that. Okay, bye. I'm just throwing it on the ground at all time. So we're probably going to be there, assembling that, and then on the workbench, we're gonna be pressing that together. And once this is going to be pressed together and clamped, we're gonna be basically tack welding that. We're gonna be removing the paint, mark that, removing the paint, and yeah, we're gonna be welding that in here. So we're gonna have our assembly done, then we can loosen up this panel here, clip that in the car, and just make sure everything is sitting properly inside the car. Then it's gonna be about making a notch in here and putting the little piece we need to finish it up perfectly. And that little piece is gonna be about 1 inch or 2 of that bar right here. That is made for custom steering rack, steering column. So this is a custom bar that you're supposed to use for steering column. So a really good grade of material. So we're basically going to cut just a tiny amount of it, and that's gonna have to be connected at the end here. That's gonna be our output. That's gonna fit right inside the Fiat 500 half link. So whew, what a really intense job, but gosh, it's cool. Honestly, I'm really happy on how it's looking, and I feel like that's gonna be strong enough to handle the torque and everything. Because also we have to keep in mind, one thing cool is that the electric motor is just before that assembly. So yes, this assembly is getting a lot of strength through it for turning the wheels, but is it? You know, yeah, that's true. I would say the electric motor is removing a bit of load on it, but that's not true. If it was further down, closer to the wheels, it will be. But right now, since it's before, we are inputting, the electric motor is gonna help us, but it's gonna apply the torque itself to that. So it needs to be strong. One good way to test it is gonna be to just go left to right with the wheel on the ground and just going left to right, testing the car, like testing the power steering unit, and we will see if it's snapping on like while it's not moving, because basically when you're not moving, that's where you have the most stress on your steering column. So that's gonna be one way to test it. To be fair, do that like maybe 20 times, and if it's not snapping, it's not doing any funky stuff, we will be done. I think I'm gonna call it there, guys. So yeah, that was a pretty insane week. We did a lot of progress. Next week, well, the goal of the week is gonna be to get everything in place. Honestly, next week, putting the wheel back in place. Wheel and being able to put the car on the ground, that will be awesome. So if we're getting there, I'm gonna be super happy. And if we're having a steering rack that is working with the wheel in place and everything, that's gonna be cool. We just have to do another big modification of the steering rack to basically rethread the tie rod, the inner tie rod, so we can fit the Datsun one, which is not the same thing. So yeah, we're gonna see that there. So on that, guys, I wish you a really good weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. It's the birthday of one of my friends, so might not be there, we'll see. And if not, well, I'm gonna see you on Monday. Thank you guys again for being here. That's awesome, and I'll see you later on. Have a good weekend. Bye.